Welcome to the One Piece Vlogs. I'm the Geek BAH Brent here with the Little Garden arc. Now this arc is a very good one, and this continues off of the Grand Line arc and actually introduces a lot of big plot lines to it. First, after leaving Laboon and all that at Reverse Mountain, they head off with Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine, agreeing to give them a ride to their village, to their hometown. So they go to Whiskey Peak, the name of their village, and they find it surprising that they're greeted really well there. Everybody seems to welcome them, even though they're pirates, and they even hold this huge party with drinking and food, and everybody's enjoying it. Even Sanji is getting all the women, and I just find that funny. But after everybody's passed out, we actually find out that they're bounty hunters, when Zoro, who faked passing out, basically confronts them, knowing who they are. We find out they're Baroque Works, a big criminal organization, and that they were basically tricking them the entire time. And all of the Baroque Works members have code names, like Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday, as they come back. But we find out that there's actually some dissension in the group when Mr. Five and Miss Valentine's Day arrive, basically making it known that Miss Wednesday is an imposter, as well as another one. I think it was Mr. 8. Yeah, Mr. 8's real name is Igaram, and he's the captain of the guard or something for the kingdom of Alabasta, and Miss Wednesday is Nefertari Vivi, who is the princess of Alabasta, and that they were basically infiltrating Baroque Works. Well, there's some great battles here, and some really interesting stuff happens. Zoro has some badass moments as usual, and it shows that Mr. 5 has this really weird power where he can turn any part of his body into a bomb that actually won't harm himself. And a lot of the times, he seems to, like, pick his nose and flick his boogers off at someone as bombs. It's just weird. But he can do things. He can, like, clothesline someone, and his arm will explode. It will hurt them, but not him. It won't damage him at all. And that's really cool. And then there's Miss Valentine's Day. She can change her body weight, so she can be so light that she floats up into the air. And then she can change her body weight to instantly, basically change it to hundreds of pounds, so she drops like a rock, smashing into someone down on the ground. It's great. These are some great powers. They really are. You find out sort of a little bit about Baroque Works at this point. They're a criminal organization. They're trying to take over Alabasta Kingdom. And Luffy and the crew decide to help out Vivi. Now, there's this one part where Luffy and Zoro actually get into a fight. Because Luffy wakes up, finds out Zoro was beating up all the Baroque Works agents, and Luffy still thinks that they're good guys that were giving them a party, so he's pissed off at Zoro and is trying... He actually basically says he's trying to kill him because of this. And it's a really intense moment, because you see how badly Luffy is willing to protect people that he cares for, that he likes. And even though he just met these people, he likes them because they were giving him a party and stuff. And, I mean, it makes sense that he'd be really pissed off that people that were so nice to him were taken out. But then when he finds out, it all makes more sense. Another characters introduced in this are the Unluckies, who are an otter and a vulture working for Baroque Works. They're highly intelligent, and they're known to do stuff like they can draw faces so that all of Baroque Works knows who Luffy's crew is, and stuff like that. Now, when they leave Whiskey Peak, Igaram's ship is destroyed, and as they're leaving, they meet up with Miss All Sunday, who is actually another character who's huge later on. She has this almost arrogant personality to her, but she's not really cocky as much as she is. It's like she's toying with them almost. She even gives them a way to help them, and Luffy outright refuses it, and she just finds it so fascinating. It's just great. And it really gets great when you know what happens with her later on. So after this, they head off and they reach another island called Little Garden, where it finds out prehistoric times are still there, and there's dinosaurs and all. So they're on this island, and here they meet two giants named Dory and Broggy, who are part of the Elbaf tribe of giants, who are basically fierce and strong and honorable warriors. And this is a really big point for Usopp, because he obviously wants to become a brave warrior of the sea, and to actually see two of them is a really great thing. So this part of the arc focuses on that, focuses on Little Garden, hence the name of the arc being the Little Garden arc. So you see a lot about Dory and Broggy, them being main forces. They're embroiled in this fight that they've been in for 100 years. They keep having these battles every day, and it keeps ending in a draw. And they can't even remember why they're fighting, but they're so embroiled in it, it's so honor-bound, that they can't stop. Because if they did, it would hurt their honor, and they can't do that. And that really speaks out to Usopp, because it's the kind of thing he wants to be. Now, we're also introduced to a couple new members of Baroque Works. Mr. 3, obviously a high-ranking one, and Miss Golden Week, his partner. Mr. 3 is sort of like this really fancy type of character. He's like the guy who's sort of drinking tea and relaxing. And I mean, he's like, almost seems like a type of British type character, if they're making fun of that. While Miss Golden Week is this little girl, or as a lot of people say for anime terms, a lolly. She's this cutesy little girl, but at the same time, she just seems to have a weird personality. She's like always bored and stuff, and always just very mysterious. Yet she does have a lot of qualities like a little girl. Like, she seems to want to do something fun and whatever. Well, they end up being on Little Garden 2, and they basically interrupt the giants' battle and cause one of them to, well, it seems like, kill the other. And it completely ruins the fight. Well, they end up basically capturing most of Luffy's crew as well as the other surviving giant, and trying to turn them into wax statues, the perfect art, because both Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week are so heavily into art for some reason. Now, at this point, it gets a little weird. But again, Zoro has another badass moment when he's willing to chop off his own legs and still fight. I mean, he doesn't, but he gets like halfway through them, and he's like, "Oh, I only got halfway through, no big deal." It's like, really, dude? But it's seriously, he's just badass like that. And there's a lot that goes on. Obviously, there's the big battles with Luffy and all them fighting Mr. 3 and whatnot. And then there's this moment. Sanji finds Mr. 3's house, and there's a phone call on the Den Den Mushi, which is like a snail phone in the One Piece universe. Sanji answers it, and he talks to Mr. Zero, the leader of Baroque Works, who we've already found out is one of the Shishibukai, or Seven Warlords of the Sea, Crocodile. So Sanji is talking to Crocodile. Crocodile thinks he's Mr. 3. And at the end, basically, he makes this really big mistake because he has to fight with the Unluckies who have come and discovered him there. And Crocodile basically orders that Mr. 3 be killed. So, at this point, the series is really taking an interesting turn. Obviously, the Baroque Works is going to be a big part in the future of One Piece. And we're really wondering, when watching this point, exactly who this Mr. Zero is going to be and what kind of role he's going to have in this series. Well, we find out after Mr. 3 and all are defeated that both of the giants are fine, and they help them escape the island, because there's this giant goldfish thing that's blocking the path, apparently. It's actually kind of funny. because Usopp, actually, one of the stories he told Kaya in the past was that there was a giant goldfish, and that really comes back in this part because it's actually real, and that's actually neat that they did that, and since this part with the giants was such a big thing for Usopp. So after this, they're heading off to their next adventure, and that's pretty much where I am currently. So, as for now, the vlogs will continue after the next arc. Now, I suggest, like always, that you watch the show. It's a great show, and even though it is very long, and to start watching it from the beginning, you have to watch a lot of it all the time. It is hard to catch up on in that respect. I'm glad I'm already completely caught up on it, even if I am watching it again all the way through. I'm still completely caught up and watching it at current point too. So yeah, if I suggest you watch it, even watch it in the same way as me. Every time I release a vlog for an arc, watch the arc. But as of now, the vlogs will be halted, and I'll get some other videos up. I guess I'll see you then.